I'm Tim Walker from the Trinity Force Network, and I'm here with Altec from Team Gravity. So today I wanted to ask you about the environment in Team Gravity versus your time with EG and / Winterfox.
My time at Gravity has been pretty awesome so far. There's not much tension. Maybe some after scrims, but that gets resolved, right? And it's just been an overall roller coaster ride. It's been really, really fun for me. So, but on my time on Winterfox, there are a lot of trust issues. So people didn't really get along with each other, and then there's tension. And then if someone came to gank or if someone tried to make a play, then if it failed, then there's negative criticism towards that guy. So there's that trust issue there, and we just didn't really get along that well in the game. So it wasn't as fun. Or it wasn't fun at all, but now that I'm Gravity, a lot of things are changed.
All right. And specifically, your coach now is Cop, and he was AD carry for Curse and for Gravity then as well. And has that affected his coaching for you, or how you play the game? His opinion of things?
Not really. Because from how he sees it, he values me a higher or a better AD than he was. So personally, most of the calls I make on my own are correct from his point, but he just gives me a lot of tips and warnings, because I tend to do a lot of stupid stuff in scrims, which might translate into actual tournament play. Mm-hmm. So he reminds me hey, you don't die to this next time, or make sure I don't get caught and stuff like that. He told me not to get caught by his EH today, but I still got caught.
Yeah, I suppose it's going to happen. And then the next question, what are your thoughts on the current ADC picks, in competitive play? We saw specifically Ashe to begin with. We saw a lot of Ashe last week, but not as much this week. What are your thoughts on Ashe?
I think Ashe is really, really unique. She's just very vulnerable to a lot of stuff. There's not much you can do if you get flash tippers and then you just die, Mm-hmm. So it has to be a very situational pick. But personally, I don't like Ashe because I don't think she's that good. But some other AD players might have a different opinion. So, but I think right now you can almost play any AD. It just depends on the situation.
All right. And you played Triss today, and she's seen a little bit of play recently. And but for most of the spring split, she wasn't seen very much. Can you touch on some of her strengths or weaknesses right now?
I don't really recall the spring split meta right now, mm-hmm. But for the summer split, Kalista's a really contested pick, right? So, mm-hmm. I've been trying to find what does at least well against Kalista, because Kalista mostly just dumpsters everyone in lane, and I think Triss is a good pick into Kalista, but it's a lot of 1v1 or Triss wins in my opinion, but the lane is 2v2, so you'd have to find a good pair with Triss, and Nautilus Triss can do pretty well against Kalista. So, all
right, and then for my last question, if there was one aspect that you see in lower elo players versus higher elo players, that maybe the lower elo players can work on, and maybe how they can work on it.
I think a lot of it is especially for ADs, you want to farm as much as possible, right? So you want to get to that late game point. So you want to make sure you don't miss any CS, right? That's really important. And then you want to make sure how you can farm effectively, you don't waste time farming. So I think just farming in general would get you to a better state of the game where you're actually strong, and then you can work from team fighting position from there. But I think you should start with farming first.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today.